Hi, it's Reasonable Reviewer, and I wanted to do a quick review today of the card game Cahoots by Jay Treat. This is put out by Mayday Games, and it's for ages 12 plus, 20 to 30 minutes, 3 or 4 players. Very restricted, 3 or 4 players. Obviously, that's a subset if you've got 4, 5, 6 or more people. But you can't play this game with 2 people, and you can't play a solitaire version of it. It's so important. It comes with this rule book, and we're going to go through that because I'm going to do just a little bit of play to show you what's going on with it. Essentially it's numbered cards, and you've got the cards that you're used to in a regular Western deck. You got clubs, spades, hearts, and diamonds. Additionally, they add cups and stars. All right. So if you're thinking that there's some kind of tarot connection, there is not. Then there's 2 sets of cards. There's goal cards, and these have different suits on them, and that'll be important in a moment. And then we got this kind of specialty card. We'll talk about that in a bit. And then you got the cards themselves, starting with 4s and going through 8s. So you start the game by distributing randomly one of the goal cards, and this is going to tell you which suits you will get points for as you play. This is a trick-taking game. The dealer, whoever that is designated. You put this card in front of him or her, however you determine it, randomly probably. And then they're going to shuffle, that person's going to shuffle the cards. They're going to deal out 11 cards to each player. You go through and play the cards. Let's say, I'm going to do it randomly. So let's say that the lead person led with 7 of hearts. As far as I can, there's no need to follow suit. What's going to happen is you're each going to play 2 cards. So let's say that those were the cards dealt. You divide them by suit, and you add up the numbers. And in this particular case, all of the only suit that had more than 6 points was 13 points for hearts. That means that these 2 players would get points. Now, I gotta be honest, is a little confusing in that you've got to go to page 5 where it's going to tell you what the scoring is and number of winning suits. The 2 players with the winning suit each score 2 points. And I'm going to talk about how you keep track of that in a second. So number of winning suits if there's 2. So if they're tied, if one of the player has both winning suits or their identity card, they announce Cahoots and score 4 points. So let's say, for example, that you had another 7 of stars. So these 2, let's say this was the 7 of stars. So there were actually 2 winning suits. They were tied. This person could say Cahoots, and they would get 4 points, which is double the normal amount you get. All the players have 1 winning suit. So let's say that let's pick one that's not out here. So let's say spades was let's say that spades were tied for the winning suit, and this was a 6 and a 7 or something. So this one would win, but they don't have hearts. This one has hearts but no clubs or spades. This one has hearts but no spades. Then in this particular case, each person, all the players would get 2 points. Now, in the extremely unusual case that there would be a tie for spades, diamonds, and clubs, this person has all 3 winning suits on their identity card. They announce Cahoots and score 4 points. So the same as 2. If 2 players each have 2 of the 3 winning suits on their identity card, they each score 2 points. So the best you can do, you're going to make the most points if you've got two of the winning, if you've got two of the winning suits on your card, nobody else has that, or you get all three, there's actually no advantage between 2 and 3, according to this. You get 4 points in either case. All right, how it ends is you play 11 tricks. That's it. Okay, so scoring, I give it 4 stars. Why? First of all, it's a limited number of players. You can only play if you got 3 or 4. I think it's a little complex, to be honest with you. I mean, you could kind of get used to it. The idea of Cahoots is that you might play a card that's going to help somebody else at the table and help yourself. But it's not a cooperative card game, right? I mean, the only reason you would do that is because you think somehow you're going to benefit that particular round and that round only. So it's a very short strategy. I like the idea of the different suits. The cards themselves are gorgeous. They're beautiful. And like a lot of, I'm not going to bend them all the way back, but like a lot of the European cards, these are very nice, high quality. But again, all in all, I think that the number of times I'd be able to play this would be kind of limited. I like the idea that it's got a good strategy. There's a limited number of cards, so you can kind of in your mind keep track of how many cards there are, and you know that all the cards are actually dealt out by the end. So by that last trick, if you're very good at counting cards, you know exactly pretty much what's going to be available in that hand. So fair amount of strategy, clever game. One a little complicated in the scoring. I think it would take a few. I haven't played this yet because, quite frankly, I don't have 3 or 4. Either I have 6, 7, or 8, or I get 1 or 2 at the house to be able to play most of the time. So I don't have a chance to play this yet. I think that's going to be true for a lot of gaming groups actually. So, but I love the design. I think it's got some nice chrome to it with the idea that you could play a card that also potentially helps somebody else score. But again, there's no benefit to you down the line by doing that. It's each time you do that, it has to be benefit for that particular round, or there's no longer term strategy involved with that. Anyway, so 4 stars. I recommend it. It's not as high on my list as some other card games. So thank you all very much.